decide. I don't know. Hello everyone, it's Luli, and today I'm going to be doing a video of who would I choose to marry based on the game Variable Barricade. Now this game is about a main character who is the granddaughter of an incredibly rich man. She keeps on getting marriage proposals, however she keeps on saying no, understandably, because you know she's still young. But as a result of that, you know, this grandfather thinks it would be incredibly amusing if he gets four ridiculous guys and to force her to live with them and then to choose one to be her potential husband. But when I say ridiculous, I mean they're ridiculous. And I thought it'd be fun to do this kind of like who would I choose type video, because actually I do streams of this game, and in the last one, and this was about an hour or two maybe into the common route, a situation arises where she decides to do an interview for each of these marriage candidates, I guess, to get to know them better in her own way. And so of course, if you're playing this game and you haven't come across this, you're like, what's Luli on about? And you don't want any spoilers, then I would swiftly move on. But if you have played the interview part and you're happy to learn of how I felt and like who I would go for based on those interviews, then you know, just continue watching this video, and I think you'll enjoy it. Maybe you can join in with me and think about who you would choose at that moment when you're doing those interviews. But anyway, let me start. So firstly, I'm just going to go through all four of them randomly. Naita is a classic puppy and a himbo combined. He's an energetic, hyper fizzball. I don't even know how to describe him, but he's like the most energetic puppy I've come across. So first, when he walks into the interview, he's like, look, he's like so nervous because Hibari tells them, you know, to dress in formal attire as if they're going to a work interview. So he's like super nervous. And of course, Hibari asks all these questions like, oh, you know, what do you feel you'll gain out of this marriage? Why did you want to get married with me? And you know, all this. And every time like there's a what would you do for me, or what would you like to do for me? He'd be like, I'd like to protect you. And then she's like, from what? And he's like, I don't know, but I just want to protect you. And it's like, and yeah, and now the reason why he's so ridiculous and one of the reasons why it's a bit like, do you really want to marry him, is because he is kind of, when you look at his profile sheet, it states that he's the crazy debt generator machine type thing. That's his nickname, the crazy debt generator, I think. And she asks him, what's that about? Like, why do you get debts? And he's like, yeah, I don't understand. It just sort of happens. And it's like, huh. You know what I mean? So the thing is, if I were Hibari looking for a fiance, as you know, the heiress of an incredibly sort of rich family, you're gonna have a lot of responsibilities you're gonna have to bear, and the same would be said for your future husband, because he needs to be there for you when you're going through all these stressful moments. Not to mention, maybe he will have to, you know, work instead of you at times, and so you kind of want someone that's level-headed and thinks right and could actually help. And Naita, oh bless him, but he's just such a himbo. Like, I know there's the benefit of him protecting you or whatever, because he seems very keen on that, but one, you don't know whether he would be any good at it. And what if he's going around, you know, collecting debts and you have to constantly pay them back, and it just sounds like a nightmare of a choice. So yeah, as Hibari, I think I'm just gonna have to, yeah, he's a pass. I think he's not in the potential marriage partners yet, let's just say, at this point in time. So next up is Shion. Shion, he's very therapeutic and seems like a nice guy, very pretty to look at. But he, throughout his whole entire life, has been a kept man, so relies on whoever he's with. He calls them patrons to survive, so I guess everything gets done for him, and he does give off that kind of vibe. It's almost like he thinks he's like some sort of art or something, like art piece that should be put on the side for everyone to look at. It's always like he thinks of himself like that, and other people have felt that about him too. I kind of felt like perhaps he could be useful in the sense that because Hibari would be working really hard and you know, be stressed out, that perhaps she does need a walking art piece to look at. A bit like perhaps having a pretty plant on the side or something to, you know, boost your mood a little. I really don't know. I think the issue I have with Shion though is that like he kind of feels a bit conceited. Like in the interview, he's acting like all he needs to do is sit there and look pretty, and I don't think that's a great attitude to have if you're marrying someone who is, you know, wealthy and, you know, is gonna need a lot of help. So I personally, if I was Hibari, if I was in her shoes, again, I think I'd give him a pass. Like he can also go away. Okay. Next one, Taiga. So Taiga has a gambling problem, of course, because everyone has to have a problem somewhere. And Hibari actually asks him, do you plan on giving up? And he's like, no. And it's like, wait, hang on. Because I mean, thinking about it, Hibari works her butt off, gets all this money, and then Taiga splunks it all on gambling. Like, that's not fair. That's wrong. Is he not gonna even consider that? Like, if you're gonna get married to someone, these are things you need to really consider. You have to think like, oh, are we gonna have money problems? Is he going to, you know, understand that this isn't appropriate behavior for a rich like an heiress's fiance? And he is very like condescending. I think just from the beginning when because he's like, you know, oh, I forgot that women like to do these kind of like pretend interviews and stuff. Like, he's very condescending, and oh my god, it got on my nerves so much. So for me, I think Taiga has a pass as well, because I'm like, no, I don't like condescending boys. But he is like, he does have like an edge and like a bit of a bad boy vibe going on. But hey, that's like for dating, not marrying, you know, type of thing. But yeah, no, that's my thoughts. Unfortunately, he's gonna get a pass as well. Now, the last one, Ichiya. I'm not gonna lie, I found him kind of the cutest because he walks in with his like little suit, obviously, and then feels a little bit like nervous, and then like starts stuttering and stuff a little bit. Not in like the Naita's over the top way, but in Ichiya's case, it was very much kind of like he's trying really hard to make a good impression, and I'm not gonna lie, it's adorable. But there's a big but. Every time he opens his mouth, it's like he has to spew jargon of the most flirtatious words that he can think of, and it's just a bit exhausting. Like, I think if he kept his mouth shut, I know that sounds really bad, but if he just didn't say anything, then he'd be like good looking, and like he can do cooking and like and clean and do like house husbandy stuff, and he'd be a catch. But then he opens his mouth and all the stuff that comes out of his mouth is like, oh my god, and you sit there like feeling exhausted, you know. Not to mention, he seems to have like what could potentially have been a fraud situation, where so he's almost got like a black mark next to his name. Now, I understand, you know, giving second chances and all of that, but I think in this case it's a little bit like, yeah, but she's an heiress of some rich family, and you know, the last thing you want is a black mark next to your fiance's name, if you know what I mean. So I think if I were in his shoes, yeah, I think I'd have to give him a pass as well. Sorry, it's just like, I'm giving them all a pass. Okay, so I don't know, right? Okay, let's say I have to pick one though. Like if I was in Hibari's shoes and I would have to pick one, then I don't know. They're just, I mean, Naita's too hyper, Shion's too up himself, Taiga's too condescending, and then Ichiya is just, well, he's Ichiya, if you know, you know. Although, mind you, I feel like with Naita, it could be that you could sort of try and help him with the debt situation in terms of like how not to get, you know, in debt. So it could be possible, and having like someone that cares so much that they just want to, oh, but he did have an obsession with Hibari treading on him, so he's clearly into that. So never mind. I think yeah, he's a bit weird. So I think, yeah. And then Shion, although I can see him being good at the same time, I feel like I need someone that's going to work or be willing to work, because I don't want just a kept man, like, oh, you're marrying me for my money. Like that feels horrible. So yeah, not him. As you can tell, I'm trying to think of the good and trying to pick someone. Taiga, I guess he's a possibility. Just he's so condescending, and I don't like condescending people. That would drive me crazy. And the thing is, a gamble addict, you know, and you need to want to quit to get over these addictions. And if he continues his gambling addiction and then ends up using all of Hibari's money, like that's not good. Ichiya's way he speaks is exhausting. I guess he could, and then the black mark next to his name. Guys, I can't decide. I don't know. Judging by the interviews, I think I think I'd go for maybe, the thing is, Ichiya's the least annoying in terms of personality, apart from the flirty words. But as I said, if you could like tell him to stop somehow, which I feel like he would, you could train him to not talk absolute nonsense like that. So that's something that I think can be fixed. But it's the black mark next to his name. Because I'm just thinking, like, if you're someone rich, you don't want your fiancé having like, but then he said it was all a misunderstanding or something. It's whether, I guess you would then get to know him a bit better and learn about the situation, and then kind of like, you know, discuss it, and then maybe you can help with the situation. Okay, I've come to my decision. I'm going to go with Ichiya. I think, oh, but the way he speaks, but I'm just thinking you can stop him from speaking like that. I'm sure there are vocal trainers out there that, you know, you can be like, okay, I want him to stop flirting, so can you like just train him? Because the way he speaks, it's always like, it comes out like that's the way he speaks. So yeah, it's a habit, but if you were to, I'm sure you can shape that, right? Like, yeah, I'm sure you can shape that. I just think I'd find him as long as we sort that out. I think out of all of them, I'd find him the least annoying, and plus he like can cook and stuff, which is really nice for a guy. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. So I have gone with Ichiya. Now, I don't know, what about you? If you have done this interview session, please do let me know, whether it be in the comments below or on my Discord, who you sort of kind of felt like would be the right choice at that point in time. Like, imagine yourself being at the interview instead of Hibari, asking those questions, getting those responses. Think about who you would choose at that time, and I would absolutely love to know. But anyway, hopefully that was a fun video for you. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. Oh, and I do hold my streams on Tuesdays at 8 PM GMT. So yeah, be there or be square, whatever it is. But yeah, again, thank you and bye.